Welcome to the Conscious Radio Network. Become enlightened, have fun, and tell all your friends and family to share with everyone they know. You can watch us on YouTube and Rumble while following us on Facebook, or find us on X, Instagram, and TikTok. Our podcasts can be found on Libsyn, iHeart, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and more. Most of all, remember to go to our official website at consciousradionetwork.com for past episodes, future shows, and scheduling. We also want to welcome our international audience. Don't stop now. Enjoy the community. Subscribe or follow today.
This is the Conscious Radio Network.
Good day, everyone, wherever you might be on this spaceship we call Earth. Welcome to Conscious Radio Network's The Seance Podcast. I'm your host, Reverend Dr. Paul Meckes. If this is your first time tuning in, please click subscribe, comment, share, whatever you do, and don't forget to follow us wherever you follow or listen to your podcasts. Today on the show, we are joined with Cristiano, a writer, poet, and truth receiver whose journey took a powerful turn after a life-changing ayahuasca experience. Once a personal trainer chasing the surface, Cristiano also walks the path of authenticity, using storytelling to explore transformation, healing, and the beautifully messy magic of being human. From the jungle to everyday life, he brings humor, heart, and deep insight. Let's welcome to the show for the first time, Cristiano Color. Man, that's a crowd.
Wow, that's me. Yeah. Thank you so much, Paul, for the introduction. It's a pleasure to be here chatting to you.
Pleasure. And a fellow ayahuasca frontiersman.
You've done it as well.
I took that journey about 4.5 years ago.
Where did you go?
It was here locally. I had a friend of mine who is from Chile, and a shaman from Chile, and she has been doing this for many years traditionally. And it took a 4 to 5 day ceremony, and it was very profound. And,
I believe so.
And I tell you, man, it may not be for everybody, but I tell you, for those who are seeking the path, that's what we're talking about today. And I tell you what, for your experience, what was the single most profound lesson that you've learned from
there are many, but if I had to choose one and leave all the others, it would be switching from a mindset of victimhood to feeling empowered from my story and my past. I used to be a chronic victim of my past and just holding grudges, resentments towards people, towards myself even.
Yeah.
So working with ayahuasca allowed me to break through that vicious loop and come out on the other side as a responsible and empowered human being.
Yeah.
With that came integration, obviously. But that was the most significant lesson. What was it for you? What were your intentions before you did yours?
I knew that there was stuff I had to let go. It's just you just let it go. We enforce all this stuff on us: labels, ideas, structures. And none of that mattered. It was meaningless. We have to look at this temple, our inner self, our divine self, and you start to realize that it takes away all that materialism, puts it off, and now it erases all that. It mutates that. Now you can see clearly through that veil who you truly are, and our potential. It's amazing. Whoa.
And then from there you build like your true foundation of who you are, like your spiritual, emotional foundations, and then the materialism, the success, as we call it in society, it all comes as a result of those solid foundations that we found in ourselves that comes from within, not from the external. And
Yeah.
so we are in a space of receiving the external and rejoicing in the external rather than use it as an identity or as a source of validation.
And yeah, and through integration, through those who are in integration with me, we all have our own stories. We all have our own trials and our own horrors, whether you grew up with in an abusive family or an abusive relationship or whatnot. It's facing all of those demons or skeletons in your closet first, realizing, seeing that, and then going through that transition to go, that means nothing. Yes, it makes you who you are today, but you can't let that burden your next step and block your path into you truly realizing who you are.
It's all a waste of energy.
Yeah.
Doesn't allow evolution of our souls and the path. And it's not an easy task to look at those skeletons in the closet and befriend them.
Yeah.
It is not easy, but it is a must to do if we want to progress and grow.
And like you said earlier, getting away from holding these grudges towards people, or someone or something did something to you and you have that grudge. But when you look back on it, and it's an interesting too, because ayahuasca allowed me to step outside of myself, not during the ceremony, but afterwards, because it works with you. It stays with you. It allows you to just step back and analyze and see everything outside of yourself, to where these constructs of grudges and stuff like that are just, they're not prevalent anymore. They're not there.
It's like you're walking in a labyrinth and then suddenly you know where the exit is.
Yeah.
But the truth is that you knew it all along. You just didn't realize that because you were so lost in all these fields of superficiality or unnecessary. It stays with you. Do you still feel that after 5 years?
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think with that amount of time going by, you start to get used, it becomes a routine. That thought process becomes the routine. And then you think it's wearing off, but then when you think back, okay, how did I do it then? How did I do it before? You start to realize it becomes second nature. It's what you do. It's who you are. But at the same time, if you feel like you're slipping, oh, I'm becoming hateful, or I'm becoming not what I was or what I wanted to be, I wasn't in that mix. You seem to catch yourself if you feel yourself sliding out of the sandbox, so to speak.
Yeah. So life tests you. But with ayahuasca on your side or within, I feel the same. Like I'm always able to realize when I'm switching back to old ways of thinking, and I always make the choice to persevere in the opposite direction. And the more we do it, the more we start to embody these things or the lessons that we've learned, whether it's from working with ayahuasca, other psychedelics, or like other forms of healing.
Yeah.
It becomes who we are and the truth. It's not because we are building false pretenses anymore. We are actually tapping into the truest version of ourselves.
Yeah. 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 So before we go any further, for those who are watching, where they can find you is scrolling down there on the bottom for those who have a Substack account. Where can they find you and what can they expect on your account?
Yeah, so that's my Substack blog page, which is called the Hybrid Soul blog. And they can expect a multitude of things. My compassionate sharing on authenticity or what it means to live authentically. I write about shadow work as well, vulnerability, poetry, the way I see life. I write about my ayahuasca lessons from time to time, and I write about anything that comes to mind. For example, tomorrow there's an article coming out which is called The Price of Living, which made me reflect on how greedy we became as humans, not just materially, but we are also taking that into the spirituality, creating an ego on the spiritual side, and death, how we relate to death as humans and to life. So I write about existence, I should say, in general.
Yeah.
And they can reach me on Instagram, where I share updates on my upcoming book and other short story, whether it's through reels or descriptions. So
Yeah. Cool.
yeah,
I noticed some of your articles. You were talking about the hybrid soul and the shadow self. Can you explain a little bit about that?
I call the blog the hybrid soul because I've always put myself in a box. And what I mean by that is I've always taken one project at a time, always lived based on one single identity, which was footballer, as in soccer,
Yeah.
because I used to do that in my childhood throughout my adulthood, and that's all I knew. And I got to a point which it wasn't fulfilling anymore, and it kept me stuck. I couldn't evolve anymore, and I didn't see any more growth. I began to travel, and I emigrated to another country, and I began to explore the world and myself. So I'm taking ideas from different aspects of life, whether it's the professional, whether it's my personal romantic, my sexuality, my creative self, my inner child, my shadow side, try to bring them into wholeness, which is who we are as humans. We are not one single aspect. We are different things. We are the creator, we are the destroyers, we are love, we are hate, we are capable of positive and negative, whether we like it or not. That's who we are. So that's what hybrid soul means. It
Mm-hmm.
means expressing oneself from a place of wholeness and allowing ideas to flow from a variety of aspects of our lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the shadow side, to answer the second part of your question, comes from that too. To become familiar with the traits of ourselves that we despise, even when it's hard. Because sometimes it's easy to love ourselves when we are happy, we are having a good day. And it's hard to do that when we are having a bad day, or when, for example, we are breaking up with somebody or our relationships are falling apart, and we start to take the blame for that. It is hard to love ourselves in those liminal spaces. So that's where the shadow work comes into place, which it teaches us how to first acknowledge those traits, and secondly to accept them, to break free from them, and to make them part of a collective. And by doing so, we are healing firstly. We are allowing ourselves to show up authentically in the world. Therefore, we are contributing to the universal healing,
Yeah.
and the people around us, they benefit too.
It seemed I've been getting a lot of conversations, getting into a lot of conversations and talking off the side about something I'm going to start talking about this in some of my public lectures, in this awareness that a part of this, our awareness that we're not aware of right now, but I'm trying to put it in people's minds. And I want to share this with you because I'm sure I'd like to get your experience or your opinions on it. And what it is, like you said, and this affects our relationships, it reflects jobs, it reflects anything and everything within our life, everything. That the universe is continuously changing. Nothing is static. And it seems like the human mind, our brain, the lizard brain part of ourself, has this weird thought that everything stays the same, that I've done this, or this should be and should always be, but that's not really the case. And I tell everybody, if something is blocking you from doing something, or you can't seem to move forward in a particular part of your life, whether it's a relationship, a job, whatever it is, it could be anything, that is the universe. It's our divinity, it's our higher self, and it's the universe telling you that it no longer serves us any purpose. Stop fighting the system and surrender. Surrender and listen to the synchronicities of the universe. And that was one thing that ayahuasca taught me, is surrender. listen to nature, listen to the universe, and start to realize of the things that no longer serve any purpose for our own greater good.
That's a beautiful description of surrendering. And I can relate to everything you said. And what it comes to mind is, for example, like you've mentioned, relationships, like it's always evolving, it's always changing with family, with friends, with ourselves. And I think in society, there's this like this stigma of, even if you're in a job that you don't like anymore, that you don't see any further growth for yourself, and you start to resent people and everybody, and you start to feel awful.
Yeah.
And people tell you, oh, it's temporary, it's you're good at what you do, and you know all that crap. Just keep going. You will find a way. Everything will work out. But there's not enough emphasis of actually rejoicing and finding the meaning of life in pivoting and changing and allowing new energy to flow through us. And that's why ayahuasca taught me too. I've always been like that. So ayahuasca actually enhanced that part of me,
Yeah.
and it brought out that nature even more. So if before I had it, but I was still scared about it, now I'm like, I've surrendered completely. I'm not afraid of the unknown anymore because I'm so present in my life that I can see where my ideas are coming from. I can see when it's the right time to pivot. I can observe the synchronicities in my life and allow transition to occur. That it comes to the perfect example. Yesterday, I was having a chat with someone I've met on the ayahuasca retreat, which we connected really well. But then slowly it started to fade off in a way, and I didn't force that connection. I just allowed it to unfold as it was. Because if I'm forcing something, it means that I'm keeping the same old energies, and it doesn't serve me, it doesn't serve the other person.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so that's the perfect example. And so we had that conversation, and it was time to move on, like I've done with my job multiple times. So
Yeah. There's this disconnect that I'm seeing. I've seen this. I've seen this for a while. This has been going on for technology hasn't helped. The smartphone and all that has definitely not helped. But this disconnect of us from nature, from the universe, from everything around us, what should be our situational awareness. We need to be paying attention to what's going on in the moment right now in front of us, in space, time, everything. But we've let ourselves go on this autopilot out into this false universe that's not really serving us. It might serve us in some fashion, but it's like we've become dependent on something,
yeah,
a false god, so to speak.
yeah. How did you connect differently with nature? Because you've mentioned a few times, so I feel it's been a key ingredient of your own journey. Likewise for me, so I'm curious to know,
Yeah.
how do you connect with nature now and to allow nature to guide you?
Luckily, I've always had that connection with nature. And of course, like I said, as time with technology and stuff, you find yourself slipping away from your connection with the earth, with nature, and everything around us. But I think what ayahuasca did, it allowed me to understand and see that thread between me and nature, and see, hey, it's not such a long path away. It's right here in front of you, and allowed me to go, hey, grounding, going out there barefoot in the grass, camping, and just sitting outside instead of inside the house all the time. Just go outside, soak up the sun instead of being inside all the time. Of course, I can't help when doing the podcast, so got to be in the
Yeah,
studio for that. Of course, you don't have to, but if I could do
yeah,
this show outside, believe
yeah,
me,
yeah,
I would.
yeah. Find a way to do it.
Yeah,
Just on a tree.
right? Yeah. go camping and just set up.
House tree.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing.
Right. That's something I might look into, get like one of those the satellite, was it Starlink satellite systems, and just go out in the middle of the forest somewhere and do a podcast.
There you go. Yeah. That's where real life happens.
Yeah. But yeah, I've always had that connection. I was always interested in nature, going out to the forest or the river or the ocean or whatnot. And yeah, I spaced out a little bit, but then it allowed me to reconnect and go, okay, this is home. This is where we need to maintain our energy. And it helps recharge us. People don't understand that. Hey, go camping once in a while. Go hiking once in a while. Go bicycle riding. Something. Do something out. Yeah, outside of the city. If you're in the city, make it a routine. But yeah, but it can get challenging depending on where somebody lives. If you're somewhere in the center of your continent somewhere and you're away from the ocean, find the nearest local national park or something.
Yeah.
Hang out. But yeah, get groups together. I plan on doing a retreat probably sometime next year.
Yeah.
It'll be at a national park, and I'll be like doing a cabin type thing, and then doing sound healing, sound baths, frequency healing, stargazing, meditations, channeling, and getting back to source.
All of it. That sounds amazing. Yeah. And whatever works for people, it doesn't have to be one single thing. It doesn't have to be like the forest all the time.
Yeah.
It can be the ocean, like you said.
Yeah.
It can be hiking, the mountains. I find myself connected to the mountains.
Oh, yeah.
More than anything else, apart from the forest, obviously. Now, like being in the mountains, there's something about being in the mountains. It feels like close to the sky.
Yeah.
Like the connection is amplified by that. But you also have the grounding from the rocks and maybe the wind, the earth. So it's all coming together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's amazing about the mountains too. And there's always for thousands of years, there's always been stuff written in ancient texts about the powers of the mountains. You know, even in the Holy Bible, you had Noah and Moses, Methuselah. They always were up in the mountains. That was where their spiritual temples were. Yeah. And the Greek gods, Apollo, they always dwelled in the mountains. So every time I see a mountain, I'm going up there.
Yeah. Feel the call.
Yeah.
It's super important to find some grounding every day. It can be as simple as being in the grass for 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be complicated. And just those 10 minutes, they give you so much for the rest of the day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oof. What seems to be the messiest part of being human that you've learned to embrace?
The messiest part of being human, it is accepting the fact that we all are paradoxes. We are not one single thing. It relates to the way I explained my Hybrid Soul blog. We are not one single thing. And we might enjoy both sides of the same coin for the reason that we actually are both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
And these two forces, they are not there to identify us or to take us away from our path, but they are there to reveal our path. And if we allow the energy to flow from one side to the other, it means that we are being authentic because we are being neutral in the way we make decisions, spontaneous decision. And we are not affected by the past or the future because we are being present. So to answer your question, we are a mess for that reason, because we are all these things.
Yeah.
And as humans, we crave to find an identity, like one. Like we want one single identity for life, like you said before. And we want to stick to that. But that's not the truth. And that doesn't serve the universe. It doesn't serve. We are spiritually responsible for that energy to flow into us. Because as much as it's eating ourselves, it is eating also other people. So that's what I consider the mass, the beautiful mass of being human.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I've learned this through ayahuasca as well, is I saw and felt what life was being in body compared to and seeing the mortality of it, that we're only here for this short time. And it's this sensory overload that when we're incarnated into body, we're like, whoa, we don't know how to react. We're all this sensory overloads going on, touch, feel, see, smell, all this stuff is going on around us. And it's like we're bombarded with all this stuff. But then at the same time, it's like we have to mind the body. We got to keep this body alive and managing it. But at the same time, internally, like, nah, you're trying to overcome all this stuff in the outside world that can pose and be detriment to our own mortality.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's this race, this mess. It's just, what the hell?
Yeah. It becomes even worse when we do that by being logical about it. So that's another thing that ayahuasca revealed about myself, that we always try to make things logical, like even healing, but it doesn't have to be. Obviously, we have a brain and a thinking for a reason.
Yeah.
But we, as humans, like you said, being in our bodies, it's one of the most magical feelings we can do, to use our body as a vessel to pleasure, to knowledge, to receive wisdom from nature, from the simplicity of life.
Yeah.
Tuning in with our bodies honestly, and listen to our intuition, because it's speaking to us around the clock. That's another powerful lesson that ayahuasca taught me, because probably you can relate. When you drink ayahuasca, it takes away your logical thinking,
Yeah.
like altogether, and it forces you gently, obviously, to sit with the pain that you're feeling, whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, and there's no other way around it. You have no time to think about what
Yeah.
what you have to grocery shopping the next day. No, you don't have that time.
Yeah.
It forces you to sit with your gut, and it eradicates. It's like pulling back weeds out of your system and planting new seeds.
Yeah. Yeah. After drinking it, we sat down, went to go sit down on my mat, have a blanket around me. I'm sitting up and I'm starting to feel it. And then something's telling me, just get ready, buckle up. and yeah, it was like, man. And it was a 2-night too, because we had just a little bit the first night, and then the second night was the full dose of the medicine.
Yeah. So did you do it back to back, and then did you do it more than 2 times, or just 2 times?
2 times, yeah.
2 times, yeah.
First night was the kind of like the half. It was I'm not sure. They said it wasn't the full dose. It was just to get everybody acclimated to what to expect and feel, and get introduced into breaking open that closet and face your demons. And then the second night was the full dose. All right, get ready. We're going back.
Yeah.
So,
what was the experience like for you? Like the actual ceremony? What did you have visions, or was it more?
Definitely, yes, lots of visions. I remember the shaman when she started off. We just got our dose. We all just got sat down, and we're sitting up, and we can hear her chanting. She's doing these chants, and just the chants alone, I felt opened up these doorways.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was in her native language, but the power of them, it was like I almost, even though I didn't understand the language, I knew It was like something inside me knew what she was saying, what she was singing. And then I felt the energy from each syllable bursting out of her, coming into the room and just hitting you, boom, with this energy. And then feeling the other spirits too, because there was not just us in the room. There was many other spirits in that room.
Yeah. Was she singing just to you or to everybody?
To everybody. And then at some point in the evening, when each person was in their spot, she would come up. I didn't know this. I didn't know this until after when she was telling me. She came up with to each person because she knew us through integration. And of course, she knew me. We've known each other for years prior. She came up and she did a prayer and a chant specific to me to draw in my ancestors and any even extraterrestrial spirits that might be here guiding us in our direction. And when she told me that, it was like the extraterrestrial spirits. That makes sense because I remember being I was brought aboard a ship, one of their ships, and I was walking down the hallway and I had my hand on the walls, touching and feeling the walls and how they mutated. And as I was moving towards down the hallway, the entities, which were like kind of translucent, thin, tall, and they were just like, welcome aboard. and they knew that like I'm just here visiting. Hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And seeing everything. And then I came back down. Like that was just an introductory. You're not here to see everything. You're just, hi, we're here. We just want to let you know we exist. And then went off into the ethers of time, space, the jungles, just the earth, back down to the earth and into the earth.
Yeah. It sounds really powerful. And it is I take it as a sign because a few days ago, I actually had a vision about pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
In my dreams, I had an oniric experience. So I was introduced to aliens.
Wow.
I wasn't taken on the ship, but I was board in it.
Yeah.
And then the dream changed direction. So I know what you're talking about. And it's also, I feel the same about the chants. Where I went in Peru, they call it Icaros.
Yeah.
And obviously I went by myself. We did it as a group. It was 25 of us.
Wow.
And there was 4 shamans, 2 men and 2 women, to balance the masculine and the feminine energies. And then they would sing to us the first Icaro as a collective. They would sing all together for 10, 15 minutes. And then they would stay silent for 5 or 10.
Yeah.
And then each one of them, they would move anti-clockwise to sing individual Icaros to each of us.
Wow.
So in one ceremony, so I was there for 12 days and we did 6 ceremonies.
Mm.
I drank ayahuasca 6 times, which was a powerful, yeah.
Oh man.
Each ceremony I would receive 4 Icaros. And like you said, just receiving those songs, it just opens up channels that I didn't even imagine were there. In fact, towards the end, some people that found it hard to drink ayahuasca, they just participated to the ceremony without drinking, and they still felt pretty much the same thing that they did while drinking the medicine.
Yeah.
So there's something, and like you, it's like I knew the songs. Like as soon as they started, I was singing along within myself in a language that I had no idea.
Yeah.
It's just not Spanish. It's just their mother language.
Yeah.
It's a dialect. It's like going to India and speaking one of those millions dialects they have. And
yeah.
you just
Some ancient language that's been
yeah.
And that's what's so cool about ayahuasca too, because we had 2 participants in our group that didn't even take the medicine.
Yeah.
But stayed there with us, and they shared the experience. They felt the same things that we felt. Because what's awesome is it is a collective experience. What we feel, everybody else feels, and is an exact example of our human society. That is a perfect example of how I feel that we should live. Anything that I do to myself, I do to the world, and vice versa.
Yeah. And that's why working both as individuals and as a group within the ayahuasca experience, it is so powerful because it teaches you sometimes even having conversation with other people away from the ceremony. You just get revealed some of the most vulnerable and rawest thing about a human being. And no matter how deep it is, at some point in my life, I felt that way too.
Yeah.
So sharing that with strangers, pretty much,
Yeah.
it is such a it is such a powerful connection that you make not only to yourself and to others, but to the universe. It's like the universe is telling you the secret of life.
Yeah. Yeah. And you too, you realize that you're not truly alone. Through
No,
ayahuasca, you realized how loved you are by the universe. That
yeah,
you realize your own significance, your own mortality,
yes.
immortality. It's great. It's yeah, it's freaking
How do
awesome.
you relate to death, mortality, immortality now?
I see it. It's what I've been telling people is it seems since I've had my ayahuasca experience that I have been more open to death, and I have had experiences, out of body experiences of experiencing death in multiple different ways, seeing myself dying in, and I feel most of this are past life, realizing and remembering past life experiences of how I died, like bleeding to death, shot, stabbed, falling off a cliff, all different types of drowning, burning. It's just wow. And I know when you come back to earth and you come back in the body and you're like, okay, hold on. And realizing, yeah, none of us, the old cliche, none of us are going to get out of this alive. We don't know if tomorrow is never guaranteed. And when it comes, for us, accept it, embrace it, surrender.
Yeah,
But I tell you, what's on the other side is just a continuation that we
yeah,
start to realize how infinite we are.
yeah. So, did you find it scary before?
I never really thought about it.
Yeah,
But now I think it was interesting. I now think about it more now,
yeah,
and I analyze it more when it comes to, especially spiritually. I analyze it in a spiritual way and just say, hey, there's really nothing taboo, bad about it. So many people today fear it, but at the same time, on the flip side, we challenge it. We challenge death every single day, especially when we're younger. We all have this invincibility type bug in us. But then as we get older, we start to realize our own mortality. People that we grew up with or family members are all dying around us. And as we
yeah,
get older, we start to realize it. And then that's when our way of thinking is we seem to do things safer,
yeah,
but you're not escaping it. You're just embracing it, embracing death in a more gracious way.
yeah. But I also being afraid of death, which is understandable. We all want to live a prosperous life and we like the thoughts of being immortal, which our soul is immortal. Our soul keeps evolving,
Yeah.
even though our physical bodies die. But being afraid of death after my ayahuasca experience, as you, I began to think about it a lot, and it's equal to live a restricted life because you limit yourself to truly live the life that you are meant to live
Mm-hmm.
if you're holding on to that fear.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that fear is not useful. It is really useful, but it can't control how we show up in life.
Yeah, how we decide to move forward and
Yeah.
our decision making.
Yeah. I feel like when I think of death, I can see why people get scared. And I think it's mostly because of the basic survival things like food, shelter, sex, which is one of the most powerful desires of the human physicality.
Yeah.
It's like we're afraid of not having those things, so we don't allow ourselves to enjoy and to find the real pleasure in those things when we are alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
we create these dramas to not to fully be present with life.
Yeah. Yeah. I had this long 4-hour conversation with a friend of mine we've known for years, and just talking, and 'cause she had just lost her lost her mother first, and then just 7 months later lost her father. And just going through the whole story, her experience of it, taking care of her mother through her passing, and then immediately, no time to mourn, no time to, okay, what's going on? Let's regroup here. Immediately, boom, into her father's health and then his passing. And now you're left an orphan, so to speak, feeling like an orphan in the world. What do you do? Luckily, she has family. But yeah, when you get into a conversation with somebody like that, the empathy, the empathy that I've always had, this empathy, but now it's like ayahuasca has opened up another door that I can step into that experience with somebody.
Yeah.
And feeling that pain, feeling that emotion, feeling that surrender, it's wow. But yeah, I tell you, being human, man, it's just, sometimes you wonder, why do I come back? Why do I come back? I got this eternal thing out here that I could just go off and just the end of space and time. But we decide to come back here in body and experience being human.
Yeah. Maybe that's what we are meant to do, to experience our body and take it beyond just our physical selves.
Yeah. And help others evolve spiritually while they're in body.
Yeah.
Being of service to the human race.
Yeah. Ayahuasca helps because he has a feminine nature, ayahuasca. Speaking of my experience, he also helped me understand how to hold space for people where they are going through a patch or a tough time.
Yeah.
But before I couldn't even see that. Now I not only I can see that, but I can be present with their experiences and like you said, sometimes feel what they are feeling without letting my own energy getting affected, because that's also not beneficial. Otherwise there's two people getting affected by one.
Yeah.
And nobody gets to heal.
Yeah.
So ayahuasca, it's also wise in showing that how to hold space without soaking into other people's problems or whatever they're dealing with.
Yeah. I tell you, it's amazing. Like I said, it's not technically for everybody. So for those that want to look into it, finding a practitioner and just research it. And but before we're getting close to the end, before you go, I always ask our guests before we close the show to give us a takeaway, some words of wisdom you'd like to leave with the audience.
Yeah, I'd like to share a quote, my favorite quote. And maybe if we have time, we can slightly unpack that if you wish.
Yeah.
So it's a quote from Jack Sparrow, the captains of the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
And it says, the problem is not the problem. The problem is your attitude about the problem. So this is a quote that helped me a decade ago to to come out of depression,
Yeah.
because it allowed me to expand my perspective on what is a problem,
Yeah.
and the fact that we all have that responsibility of choice, and that's a gift. We always hold that power of choosing how to approach a certain situation, what attitude to have towards a certain problem. But it also shows us how everything in the end becomes irrelevant, and that we have the strength and the stamina to endure and to grow as humans. So that's what that quote means to me. And I like it because it's also allows people to interpret it as they wish, because it can mean different things for different people.
Yeah, there wouldn't be any problems unless we forced the idea that it was a problem.
Yeah,
There's no such as things as problems. They're just obstacles.
correct. Yes, that's the simplest way to look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because with how I would resolve a particular problem is something completely different to somebody else. It may not
yeah,
even be a problem to them. They're like, "Oh, really? Oh, okay, great. That's easy."
yeah, correct.
It's just an
What's
observation.
what's my preoccupation is it's your truth, and what's your truth could be my preoccupation, or vice versa. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's we hold in the mirror. Everybody
Yep.
does, but we are free in that mirror. It is not a reflection of ourselves. It is a reason to choose to be free and to act as free people as we
Yeah.
are.
Heck yeah. Awesome. Cristiano, namaste. Blessings, my
Namaste.
friend.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
You are very welcome. And let us know as soon as you get your book written. We'd like to talk about it here on the show.
Yes, yeah, I'm almost done, so I will publish in a couple of months. Yeah,
Cool.
then
Cool.
I'll reach out.
Yeah, definitely. We'll get you on at beginning of the year and
Yeah,
start the new year off on the
there
book.
you go. Yeah,
Heck yeah. Sweet.
I appreciate it so
Awesome.
much. Thank you so much.
Thank
It
you.
was
Thank
a
you.
great conversation.
Yeah, definitely. And for everybody who's watching, thank you or listening. Thank you for listening to and watching Conscious Radio Networks of the Seance Podcast. And until next time, we will see you next week.